So I'm going to do the one that we do the rest.
No, you.
Vino Adonai Eloheinu Aleinu, Asiyadenu Kolenu Aleinu, Asiyadenu Kolenu, Vino Adonai Eloheinu Aleinu, Asiyadenu Kolenu Aleinu, Asiyadenu Kolenu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher קידשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו להדליק נר חנוכה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשה ניסים לאבותינו בימים ההם ובזמן הזה. הנרות הללו שאנו מדליקים, נרות הללו שאנו מדליקים, על הניסים ועל הנפלאות ועל התשועות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו, שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם, בימים ההם, בימים ההם, בזמן הזה. תשיר מעוז צור ישועתי, לך לשבח, תיקון בית תפילתי, ושם תודה נזבח, לעת תכין מטבח, מצער ונבח, אז אגמור בשיר מזמור, חנוכת המזבח, אז אגמור בשיר מזמור, חנוכת המזבח. You may be seated. Shkoye.
Shkoye.
Larry, where's your wife?
She's all under the water.
I'm going to dedicate this for Shirufah Shelema. תודה רבה, תודה רבה. And let's switch back up. Okay. We are back. טוב, יהי שם אדוני מבורך מעתה והעולם, Hashem's name will be blessed forever and ever. Shalom everybody. I want to start with greetings. תודה רבה for the beautiful table and beautiful people that makes it, and all those who bring a lot of good food. And thank you to Moyal for bringing, what was it? Spinach. And for the Granite family, Aviva makes cheese, ganyot, and donuts, and levivot in Hebrew we're saying. A lot of good stuff.
And Daniela.
Daniela always brings something. So there's nothing new, Baruch Hashem. So todah rabba, all those who brought whatever you brought to this table, God bless you. We should do bracha over them. And I want to dedicate this Torah class for Asher Lema, speedy recovery. Any name you want to mention, please do it now. רפואה שלמה, הפעלת הערך שפעלת הגוף, לתל ותעלים תודלה, ומזל שלום יצא משהו הסלמה. I want to wish Be'ezrat Hashem to the host, the Granite family, much הצלחה and beracha and parnasa tova, and may Hashem fulfill all your wishes to the best. Be'ezrat Hashem. Kol tov. Amen soon. Okay, so forget okay, later we bring it. Tov. We're going to continue Be'ezrat Hashem. It looks like we're not going to be able to finish it again, but it's very important to learn about that topic. You shall not waste, right? Many people are not aware of this topic at all. They heard about that, they learned a pasuk there in Parashat Shoftim, the book of Deuteronomy, Devarim, and that's it. Don't really know what Baltash is all about. And we stopped just in the middle of it. At the very end of this class, around 8 o'clock, we'll do the Hatarat Nedarim and Klalot for the curses and to remove curses and any responsibility for Nedarim vows at the very end of the class. Baruch Hashem, we have enough people to do that. We've learned from the Zohar that three things bring ones a lot of bad. And one of them is one that is have crumbs of bread on his table, and he just throw it. It's just trashing it. People don't think about that things, and it can prevent one from having abundance, shefa of parnasah. Meaning, if we be careful, we can bring a lot of beracha, and beracha that is ready to come down on us now can come with no screens and no masachim, no blocks, nothing. It's very easy to do. We just, we're living our life. We don't pay attention to these kind of things. And Baruch Hashem, today we will learn what needs to be done, because this is a very wide topic and it concerns each and every one of us on a daily challenge, on a daily basis. Okay? So we've learned last time from the Rambam, from the Shulchan Aruch. It's Siman Kufpei 180. There is halachot about crumbs. Shulchan Aruch bothered to write halachot about what you should do with the crumbs. Meaning, it's important, right? So we learn about, just going to read the title, the following, it says the following. Anyone who does not leave bread on his table at the conclusion of a meal will never see a sign of blessing. So that's related to the Seudah. You're about to do Birkat HaMazon, the final bracha, and you leave nothing. Bracha can dwell only on something, not on emptiness, not on a clear table. So you have to leave something. Okay, this is why you see people leaving bread on the table. And, okay, the next one is number 6, I think. Yes, okay. It's valid, number 4. In the Talmudic era, B'imei Chachmei Talmud, you need to remember back then, they were not sitting on such tables. If you see videos today of how people eat in Arab countries today, you see that there's a big room. They're sitting by either small tables next to them, some of them sitting on the floor, or some sit on cushions like that and they eat like that. Or there is no table. A big plate on the floor today, 2022. Eating with their hands or eating with whatever. Eating from a big plate, even till today. So back then, the Chachmei Talmud, they were sitting and eating on a small table. So it says the following: in the Talmudic era, when it was customary to remove the small tables that had been placed before all of the participants in the meal before they washed for what? Maima? Is it a must?
It's a
Vilna say yes.
It's a chiyuv.
It's a chiyuv. The Rama says, nevertheless, we don't have melach zdomit among us today, but you should be concerned maybe some of it is still mixed, or you should be concerned about other kind of salt that can damage your eyesight. So even the Rama said that. Even today. Beside that, we have the issue with the Ruach Ha'ah, the bad spirit, and all that. Okay, we'll discuss it another time. B'ezrat Hashem. So, before washing it, prior to grace, okay, they will then wash in the place where the table had stood. So imagine to yourself, they removed the table. Floor back then was mainly just dust. Okay, none of them. It was not very common to have, a ceramic floor or a wooden floor, stuff like that. So they would wash, and the water would go to the ground. Okay? Therefore, it was necessary to sweep the floor where the tables had stood before washing, so that there would be no breadcrumbs there. He's bothered to write halacha about that. What do you care about crumbs, flour, what flour? Come on, give me a serious halachot. This is a serious one. List, they become repulsive because of the water with which one would wash that might fall on them. Although it is permitted to destroy breadcrumbs that are less than the size of an olive. Okay? חוששים שמא יהיה השמש עם הארץ. There is a concern that the attendant will be unlearned. מה זה השמש? You know what shamash means? Like shamash on the Chanukiah. מה זה shamash? Give me another word for shamash. Helper. Server. Helper, server. Okay. He will be am haaretz. You heard the term before, am haaretz? Right? Amar. Oh, Shalom Aleichem, the Kohen's brother, I can hear you.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Am Haaretz is related today. People think saying Am Haaretz, someone that is stupid. But Am Haaretz, it means that he's not learned. He didn't learn Torah enough to know, about kashrut, about tefillah, stuff. He could be a great person. He could be a professor for physics in the university. But still consider Am Haaretz. He has no knowledge of Torah. Am Haaretz means Haaretz is down to earth. Everything that is related to business and other stuff. But Torah is good. But today it's more common to say is Am Haaretz. I mean, he's even stupid. Anyways, they're afraid that the shamash will mess it up. The helper. There is a concern that the attendant will be unlearned, for it is permitted to employ an attendant that is unlearned, and he will also leave crumbs that are the size of an olive on the table when he removes the larger pieces bread from it. So that's not my problem. It's the shamash, it's the helper. No, it's your problem. It's your house. It's your house. If someone messed up something in your house, it's on you. It's your responsibility. Afterwards, when he removes the table, the olive-sized pieces will fall from the table and become repulsive from the water with which one washed. Therefore, it was said that one should sweep the floor before washing. Okay? So, the deal is, you want to make sure no crumbs left over. What do we do with that? What's the other solution? We'll see it later. But now we know it's very important. There's very specific halacha, Shulchan Aruch, Orach Chaim, 180. You can see it yourself. Talking about removing it and not destroying it. Okay? We, by contrast, he said the variant of this halacha, do not remove the table and we wash in place where there were no crumbs. Hence, it is not necessary to sweep the floor before washing. Okay, could be that's the very reason why they didn't wash at the same place. So this is specific halacha from the Shulchan Aruch. Any question on this halacha? Nothing good. So they collect the crumbs. What are they going to do with it? You expect me to eat it? Are you saying I can't trash it?
If
I don't have animals. I don't have birds. I'm living in a building. I'm on 12th floor. I don't have a balcony. What should I do with it? I'm stuck with crumbs. In one hand, I can't get rid of it / destroying it. On the other hand, what should I don't want to do. I have nothing to do with it. You understand what the situation here? Right.
Every meal or just shop?
Every meal involves bread. That they have bread. Every meal, every day.
So it wouldn't count for if I don't finish these, then I'm not.
We'll get to it also. We'll get to this too. What you do with leftovers, eating rice, chicken, steaks, cake, cookies, stuff like that. Right now we're focusing on the crumbs. Okay. We learn that everything that is less than kazait, less than the size of an olive, you can destroy. We're concerned about if the collective, those we collect, will reach to the size of olive, which is pretty easy to get there. So the next halacha says, Although it is permitted to consciously destroy breadcrumbs that are less than an olive in size, they should not be cast in place where people will tread on them. For when people trample on breadcrumbs, this can lead to poverty.
Yikes.
Do you hear what I'm saying here? How many people losing a lot of businesses, or even you still maintain your business, but you're losing money all the time. You don't even relating it. You make no connection to the meal you had a month ago. Let me read this line again. For when people trample on breadcrumbs, this can lead to poverty. That's not me, the Shulchan Aruch. License is given to destroy breadcrumbs only by casting them into water or the like.
Or what?
Water or the like. Meaning go to the lake, give it to the birds. Go to the sea, give it to the fish. Okay, someone else will enjoy
You
it.
can't burn it?
Yeah, can't you burn it?
Okay.
Collect it and wait for Pesach and go burn it.
Okay. So there's a better solution. I'll give it to you right now. So you put a bunch of crumbs and you cover it with two covers. Could be a piece of paper or napkin or, I don't know, plastic. Two covers in the trash. It's good.
Double wrapped.
Double wrap. Okay? Very easy to do. So we read that. I'm going to finish just the sixth halacha here and we move on. Because
It just wasn't enough.
The best solution is to buy a knife that does not create it.
Good solution. We don't
you know
use
this
knife.
halacha without being here last week. You said, you know,
I don't use a knife, so
no, but you
I
don't.
know, no.
You don't use a
He's
knife.
being funny.
You break the
no,
bread.
he's being funny.
Yeah, okay.
So,
But during
but I
the
don't-
week,
I don't-
people bring.
I don't get how does the covering with two coverings make it all good?
That's the only way you can do it. You do it with
Why?
with most respect.
Why
I'll
with two
explain to you.
coverings?
Can you go with the feeling to the restroom?
No, you need double cover.
When you can do it, if you double cover. If I have the helium in my pocket, I need to make sure that I have double covered. Otherwise, I cannot go with it to the restroom. It would be disrespect. But double covering, consider by the halacha as a full separation, and you do it out of respect. There's no other way. You don't have to burn it. You want to burn it, it's fine too. It's good too. The next halacha, the last halacha in this Siman 180 says the following. It's not really much related, but it's important. I want to share it with you. You know that you have a knife on the table. So it's customary in some communities to remove the knife before Birkat HaMazon. But they don't do that on Shabbat. Right? On Shabbat, they leave it. Okay? So what's the halacha has to say about that? It is customary to cover the bread knife during the recitation of the grace after meal. Birkat HaMazon. Our table resemble the altar. What's the reason? We already mentioned that last week, I think, right?
Yes.
Our table resemble the altar of the Beis HaMikdash. And concerning the stones of the altar, it was written, "Do not raise an iron blade upon them." That was a quote. For iron shortens man's lifespan, while the altar prolongs man's lifespan. Okay? You got the idea here? When one goes to Beit HaMikdash, he brings sacrifice. Why you need sacrifice? Because he committed a sin. And there's a judgment above his head. Midat Adin, the tribute of judgment is above his head. In order to get off the hook, you need to do teshuvah, you need to go all the way to Yerushalayim, bring a korban. They will shechted the korban, and he finished the process, all is good. So, Baruch Hashem, the altar, the Mizbeach, help him to get away from punishment, meaning long life. So altar represent long life. How the table is connected in any way to the Mizbeach? Our table at home.
but the home is supposed to be a temple. And
Okay. So the Talmud says that the shulchano shel adam, the table of one, is like a mizbeach. Not every table. If you have a small table in the living room and you don't eat on it, it's just related to tables that you doing seudah and same blessing. Because I get the questions all the time, Rabbi, can I put my legs over the table where we're eating? Well, it won't be appropriate, like you're putting your legs over a mizbeach. This is why you have to be careful not to move child from one side to another over a mizbeach. I see people all the time, let me help you, my dear wife, and he takes the child over the table. It's no good for the child. Around it. Are you following? But a table in the living room doesn't have the status of a shulchan, a table that you eat on Shabbat. So you may put your legs if you want on it, or sit on it. But this table won't be appropriate. It will be considered as an altar if, obviously, you do brachot over the food. There's a kosher food served on that. Use it for the right purposes, right? It says, Shulchano shel adam mechaper. The table of one can atone for you. What do you mean? How can it atone for me? So if you atone for me, I'm going to buy a big one. I need a great atonement. Or small one is good enough? Made of wood, metal, plastic? Which one? How shulchan, a table of one, can atone for him? Any ideas? Not everybody together? No. Shulchan, remember when we talked about the Mizbeach, one need to do teshuvah. So, Shulchan, if you do over the Shulchan, barachot, words of Torah, singing in Shabbat and Yom Tov, even in the middle of the week, you're doing mitzvot over the Shulchan, this Shulchan can atone for you. It will be even greater if you invite people. Baruch Hashem, like the Granny did today, inviting people. There's food on the table. It's a great mitzvah. They atone for them. You bring people during the week, during Shabbat, during holidays. You raise it to a higher level. Remember when we said, if you can't, from any reason, to have guests, support those who you have, people that inviting you. Support them. Take part, take share in this mitzvah. Anyway. So this is one reason why we don't put knife. Because knife represent judgment. Metal, iron, sword. Sword kill. So as it says, לפי שהברזל מקצר ימיו של אדם. As it says here, do not raise an blade with a front of the span, okay? It is not appropriate that an entity that shortens life be raised against one that prolongs it. Make sense? A person's table also lengthens his days. And the halacha says here in Shulchan Aruch, and atones for his sins, because it enables hospitality to be shown to guests. For great is the power of providing refreshment, for it causes God's presence to rest. You want to have Shekhinah in the house? That's what it says, Shekhinah. Shegadol kocha shelegima shemashra Shekhinah. Who's saying I'm davening to Hashem? Nothing. Hashem is not listening to me. I know it's my fault. I am full of sins. I'm full of sins. How can I reach the Shekhinah? Oh, I'm going to go to the Kotel. So people go to Eretz Israel. They catch flight with, Delta? American Airlines. First thing after landing, going directly to the Kotel, which is a great thing to do. Even later. But you can have Shekhinah here, at home. You can bring Shekhinah having guests on the table. Okay? I'm not saying, God forbid, don't go to the Kotel, but you don't have to wait till one day you buy a ticket and maybe you'll go. You can have Shekhinah providing refreshment for causes of God's presence to rest. Now, after doing such a mitzvah, you can start speak with Hashem. The window of opportunity is open. Take advantage of it. In many places, it says in the halacha, the custom is not to cover the bread knife on Shabbos and festivals. The rationale, during the week, the bread knife is covered because it represents the power of Esav. Because Esav said, Al Charbecha you live on the sword, right? And on Shabbos and festivals, neither Satan nor evil mischief have any power, and the custom of Jews is Torah. It says Minhagam shel Israel Torah, meaning that's the minhag. Many things we do and we have no idea why we're doing that. We're not in the level to understand, but we can trust Rabbi Yosef Kano. He says, you don't get what's going on here. It's a good custom. Follow it. Do it. Whether you understand or not, you want it or not. It's like one goes to the doctor, and the doctor offers him a medication. So you have to take this special medication. If you don't take it, you might die. Well, I don't know what it does. I need to learn. Let me check with this. And when do you check? You have to go to school for 10 years and practice. Take it. It saves life. In many ways, is similar to some custom minhagim that we do. You don't understand, but you know it's a good minhag. Your Rabbi is doing that. Follow that, whether you understand that or not. Okay. According to the Chida, according to the Sod, according to the Zohar, we don't cover on Shabbat and Yom Tov. Why? Because according to the Zohar, Shabbat is Bechinat Olam Haba. It's like Olam Haba. Then in Olam Haba, all the judgment will be sweetened. It says Yitmatku Hadinim. Will sweeten, will be switched from harsh, strong judgment to Rachamim, Chesed, and the Mitah. Because of that, will be no death. People won't stop dying from the world, and this is so. Shabbat represents that power. Therefore, we don't know. Sharet Tshuva, it says also, it's like Olam Haba, next word, without any klipot, any shells. It's terms in Kabbalah, and no chitzunim. Okay, so it's very important to remember that. So before we're moving on, any question? On Mayim Achronim, I just want to make a point, Mayim Achronim, because we discussed that. Try when you do Mayim Achronim, after washing, immediately, blessing. It says techef lentila bracha. What's techef? What's techef means? Immediately. Techef. Are you coming? Techef aniba. I'm coming right now. It's in Hebrew. It's saying techef means. You know how many techef immediately are in the halacha? How many techef? At least one of them you do every day. The Talmud says there's 3 techifot. This is brachot, Masechet Brachot, page 42, Daf Membet. It says shalosh techifot hen. 3 things we do techef immediately. It says techef geula tefila. We're saying Shimon Baruch Ata Hashem Ga'al Yisrael. You have to do immediately Amidah. You can't wait. You notice, by the way, the Chazan, the cantor, always says Baruch Ata Hashem Ga'al. It doesn't say Yisrael. Why is it not saying Israel?
You should.
Many of them do it silently, and which is okay. By the way, it's good. There's an idea behind it.
Together.
Huh? He says silently. The Chazan said, Baruch Ata Hashem Ga'al. He makes sure that nobody will hear him. Why?
So you don't.
That's what I said. See? Yafeh, very good. Look, other people, if you hear it, it's a bracha, you have to say Amen. And if the people will say Amen, you didn't start Shemoneh, so immediately, it's not Echef.
But you can say it with him.
You can say it with him. So those who says out loud in shul, the advice in the halacha says, say with him. Otherwise, if you hear it, to say Amen.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
The halacha says you have to say immediately. Baruch atah Hashem Ga'al Yisrael Amonai Sefetai Tiftach Lefi Yagit Yilatecha Baruch atah Amonai L'Avrotenu L'Avraham Lo Yitzchak L'Yaakov. Right? Mishnah 18. In many shuls, I think also in Or Torah, there are makpid on that, which is good. Saying it silently. The other techef, it says techef lesmicha shechita. When one goes to do korban, he put his hand over the head of the korban. You know, when he brings korban, you need to participate in the process, right? So you have to be there. You go inside. You see all the blood. You see the animal, the poor sheep you just brought. And you have to put your hand on it, and some wording you have to say, psukim, and then they do after you place your hands over the animal. It's called smicha. Immediately when you raise it, shechita comes. If it will be a delay, it's not kosher. Finish. Do you know, by the way, why you have to be there and putting your hand on the animal?
You should have been instead of the animal.
To shock you. To shock you. So you see the whole process. Well, next time you'll see it, you'll think twice. If you want to go through such a process again. So the first smicha, techef, it's Gaal, immediately. Second, in the Beit HaMikdash. And the third one, Mayim Achronim. Techef lintila bracha. So you do nitilat yadayim. So sometimes they passing the nitilat yadayim utensils. What do you call it? Vessels among people. It takes a minute or two. It's okay if you don't talk. Okay, so it's okay. It's still considered techef. One came to the Ariya Kadosh and he said that he suffers from his shoulders, killing him. He says because you are talking between Mayim Achronim and the bracha. He says because techef is otiyot katef. Katef means shoulder in Hebrew.
Yeah.
Katef sent letters. And from that day, it was makpid, strict on that. I have no issues with the katef. Hashem's giving signs in people's body. Okay, so we covered this part, and we need to move on. Any questions?
Women are obligated for minor.
Well, it's a good question when you ask obligated. I would say yes, and I'll tell you why. It's not only because melach zdomit. If you're afraid from a danger, so everyone is liable to it, right? Everybody can get sick from this kind of salt. Today it's hard to understand because people using this container for the salt. Back then, it was small container open. You dip your fingers in it and you put all over the food. Some do like this. You can do that too. A makpid, someone's machmir is do this. Okay. So what left over on your hand? The residue. If people then scratch the eye, the melach zdomid will make the person blind. It was so strong it would kill the eye. So Chazal, Paskan, that you have to do that in order to protect yourself. But it's not the only reason. There's something called hitzonim, the sitra achra, that they want to take power from the meal. And they have reshut, they have permission to be on the edges of the body. So they come to the tip of the fingers. The only way to remove them is doing mayim achronim. You can do it with the vessel, you can do it in the sink, it's okay. People that don't do that, when they have, God forbid, things like anxiety, depression, other issues and problems, it's related many times to that, according to the Kabbalah. So it says that even if you forgot to do that, and you finish Birkat HaMazon, and say, I didn't do Mayim Achronim, go ahead and do it now. Because the other force still on your hands. And they suck in the life out of you, the spiritual life. And they're there. They are there till you wash your hands. Okay? So we said that this prohibition, again, in about 7 or 10 minutes, we're going to do the ceremony. So I collected some ideas before we do the halachot. It's very interesting halachot that I want to share. Hopefully we start them today. There's some wordings and some morals, ideas behind this notion called Bal Tashchit. You should not waste. Bal Tashchit. Ashkenazim say Bal Tashchis. It's the same, right? And it says that the sekana, the danger, is sakana segulit. What's segulit? Segulit, it's predetermined. When Hashem created the world, He implemented in the world a lot of rules. This is one of them. If you understand, you don't understand, that's what happens. For example, we should not throw not only breadcrumbs, any type of food. It won't be appropriate. I remember as a child, I went with my father to the shuk. You know what shuk is? It's like a souk, right? In English it's called souk. A flea market or a market, right? And I saw guys, because at home, my parents never let us throw food. I go to the refrigerator, I take an apple, and then my brother says, "Can you give me one?" And we're about to throw him one. My father and mother, "What are you doing?" "No." "Go ahead, take it, or go give it to him." I never understood why. I thought maybe they're afraid it fell on the floor and make mess. I never understood. And then I grew up, I understand that this is about waste and it's not appropriate to treat food. So I remember as a child going to the market and I see people taking big watermelon and throwing to each other. You saw it? It's throwing to each other. Like there's a line, 3 or 4 people, till it gets to the booth. And I asked my father, how they can do that? This is prohibited. It's against halacha, no. So father says, you're asking for halachot in the show. Look what kind of people they're dealing with. Most of them were probably Arabs. But there's a question if you can do that, by the way. So we're not supposed to throw food. Even if you have intention to eat it. Can I throw an apple to someone to eat? Don't tell me now it's not appropriate, it's not... you're breaking the laws of etiquette, politeness, whatever I call it. It's not the right way to treat food. Right? Remember we said Yaakov Avinu had to go all the way back for those few vessels. Cheap, he's a millionaire. To teach us a lesson. Should not waste. I appreciate everything Hashem gave to me. Now listen to this. One that does that and disrespect the food, the bread, can bring poverty upon himself, because there is a malach, there is an angel that he is in charge over the mezonot, the nutrition, food, and parnasa. He is in charge of them, and his name is, if you know the name, I'm giving now a prize. If you know the name of this malach, I'm giving $100, $200.
Homework?
What?
Homework?
No. His name is Nakid. Nakid sounds like Naki, clean. Nakid, meaning Nakiyud, meaning cleanness. And the Malach, the one that in charge over poverty, his name is, if you know,
He's a Democrat.
what's your name, Robert? Robert will give you $1,000.
Biden.
Don't worry. His name is, you know this name, his name is Naval. Naval.
Naval and Naki.
Naval will be translated many times, forgive me I have to say this word, to bastard. Naval. Or Naval can be...
Mamzer.
No.
That's
So, means unclean. So, in place that it's unclean, who dwell there, who take ownership? Naval. And he brings with him poverty. And a place that is clean, who dwell, who's shochen, malach ha'osher. The malach that brings parnasa, abundance, blessings. So we can choose which malach we want to have in our house. So we get this energy from, God forbid, Naval or from Nakid. Nun, Kuf, Yud, Dalet. It says Nakid. So it's also, someone that doesn't care about cleanness. Baruch Hashem, this house is perfectly clean. Don't worry about that. Okay. Is people when they don't care about hygiene, it will reflect their business and the way they're running their business, the way they're running the money, the property. And because of that, they're going to lose money. That's another reason to lose money. It's interesting to see, give me 2 more minutes, that it says the following, Gama mezalzel b'mamono, someone that is disrespect or belittle, I think that's really the word, belittle his own money and he spend it unwisely. It says, המפזר מעותיו, או המפזר מעותיו בחמתו. אינו נפטר מן העולם עד שיצטרך לבריות. Someone out of anger is throwing money. Or he wants to revenge his wife. Or she wants to revenge her husband, or you name it. They're spending money, wasting money. It says, in Masechet Avot Rabbi Notam, they won't die till they reach poverty. They brought this malach upon themselves. You ask for it with your actions. It says in Masechet Psachim, Tractate Psachim, Kuf Yud Aleph Amud Aleph, Amud Bet, in this time, it's 111. It says Isra de Mazona Nakichme. Remember I told you about Naki the novel? It's in Psachim, Masechet Tractate Psachim, 111. The Isra de Anyuta Naval Shme. So we can choose to bring Naval or Naki, Nikiyut, cleanness. It says the following. Talasala talemezone. If someone goes to his house and he hang a bag, let's say you have a bag. I don't know what's the reason for that. I couldn't find the reason. I have my own. If you take a bag with bread and you hang it, you bring upon yourself this novel, this bad angel. Tala, when you hang. Sala, tala mezone. Your mezonot also will be hanging. It's not going to be for sure in your hand. It's going to be hanging. Shehatole pito ba'avir basar. The Talmud says because it's a disgrace for the pot. Could not understand why it's a disgrace. That's a disgrace. I saw in many houses people hanging outside for people to collect extra bread for their animals. I don't know if it's common here, but in Israel it's very common. Especially after Shabbat, in the houses, people that have animals or birds or fish or whatever, they come and collect this bread. I don't know if it's related to that. Okay. Ma? 8 o'clock?
And so
Okay.
what about,
2 more minutes, I'm finishing.
am I committing an Avera then if I throw this out, the rest of this? Or maybe I'll give it to the birds?
You give it to the birds.
Okay.
Give it to the birds. Go
they
to
have
the
to be-
lake and give it
do
to
they have to be
the...
Jewish
Let me
birds?
just finish. No.
Just get.
No, if they put filling in the morning, yes. If not,
Okay.
let me just conclude this part and we go to the ceremony, Bezat Hashem. In Masechet Chulin, Daf Kuf Hei Amud Bet, 105b. It's a story about a guy that was really strict to have Malach naked in his house. Never Naval was able to get there. He was so clean. He will clean after him. He will make sure. He made all efforts. He could never reach him. Talmud says that the minister of Anyut, Sar Anyut, lo yachol aleh. Bekazair and Shavra Tuva. He was expert in collecting the extra food. Whatever this angel tried to do, he couldn't reach him. One day this guy went for a trip. He was hungry, sitting by a river, under a tree. There's a lot of grass. It's a nice, comfortable place. He sat there. He did netilat yadayim, or what's needed, and then he started to eat a big sandwich. Eating, and crumbs fell all over. The crumbs fell in the grass. And now the Sar of Anyut says, now I got him. He won't be able to collect all the crumbs. Now I got him. The Talmud says that after he finishes his meal, he did Mayim Achronim in the river, he did the Birkat HaMazon, and then before he left, the angel of Nava is waiting there, right? He took shovel from his back, and he took all the area that he was sitting with the sand to the river. Till the point, the Talmud says, the Nava says, I give up. I'm leaving this guy, I'm never going to pursue after him. I'm never going to go after him. And from that moment, he became even greater and richer. There's much more to share. I didn't even get to the halachot. We'll have to wait till next week. And Be'ezrat Hashem, right now, we're going to start with nullifying the vows and curses. I'm going to let the camera roll till we finish this process. So what I need to have, 3 men here, it's good. All those who wants to know the vows should stand here. I'm going to be standing, and then we can switch, okay? We can switch if you want to do that too. Because right now you're acting like a bestin.
Right. We did it in Rosh Hashanah. We already did it for the year.
Okay, this one, this is a short version.
Okay.
Okay, I sent on the group the English translation. I don't know if you noticed that. So you could read it to yourself and understand what we're saying. It's important that you understand what we're saying. Please, Dave. You come with us. I need only 3 here.
Here's the translation.
Good. Read it out loud in the meantime. Listen to what Leah's reading.
Listen, please, our rabbis. We ask your majesty to nullify our and our wives and our sons and daughters and all our household, all vows, oaths, excommunications, and reprimands, and to cancel all curses, oaths, death, and all bad things and bad dreams, and all kinds of the evil eye and the like. And the permitters say, together with the permission of the Holy Spirit and the Shekinah, with the heavenly based in and the rabbinic court, you have been permitted, that's said 3 times. You have been allowed 3 times. You have been forgiven 3 times. There are no vows here. There are no oaths here. There are no excommunications here. There are no banishments here. There's no ayin hara here. There are no profanities here. There are no curses here. Whether you cursed others, whether others cursed you, whether you cursed yourself, or if you were obligated in anything, there shall be no curse or excommunications or prohibitions or any bad decree or bad dreams or bad interpretations, whether you dreamed about others or others dreamed about you. All are null and void, like broken pottery, and is something that has no real substance in it. And just as they agreed and allowed you in the rabbinic court in this world, so they will agree and permit you in the Beit Din and Shemayim, and all curses and bad dreams will be turned into good, and blessing upon you and upon everyone, as it is written. And the Lord your God will turn your curse into a blessing for you. For the Lord your God loved you, and it is written, and you who cling to the Lord your God shall live, all of you today. May the words of my mouth be to your will and reason, according to your presence. God created and redeemed. The end.
So, yeah, I need you to be with them. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to help you out. Moshe,
Do you have another?
can you come over here? You need to stand. Please stand here, Leah. Moshe, we're going to know the vows for them. So I'm going to be with you guys. I'm going to read it out loud. And you're going to read this out loud. Now, when Moshe will read it out loud, you read it slowly. It's very short. Yeah, you can share. You guys should share. I send it on the text also. You can open it at the WhatsApp. So please come, everybody. You have to come the other side because you have to stand before the baby. The other baby is standing before the baby. It's very important. It's very powerful. Remove all curses and vows that we ever had, and we didn't fulfill them. Okay? Rabbi? אז אתה מונח עד לפה, לאט לאט ולכל רם, because they're going to follow you. Give you the sign.
Me too or not?
You can participate.
Okay.
For sure. In the back. Go to the back. Okay. שלוש, ארבע, וגו.
שמעון רבותינו הרי אנחנו מבקשים ממעלתכם
You have to say it with him.
להתיר לנו ולנשינו ולבנינו ולבנותינו ולבן הנבלים לנו ולכל הנבלים לנו. כל נדרים, שבועות, חרמות, נידויים, נזיפות ולבטל כל קללות, שמתות וכל דברים רעים וחלומות רעים וכל מיני עין הרע הן וכיוצא בהן.
בצירוף ובשרירות קודשה ורכוש אישתך ובית דין של מעלה ובית דין של מטה מותרים לכם, מותרים לכם, מותרים לכם, שרויים לכם, שרויים לכם, שרויים לכם, מחולים לכם, מחולים לכם, מחולים לכם. אין כאן נדרים, אין כאן שבועות, אין כאן מלחמות, אין כאן שבתות, אין כאן עין הרע, אין כאן יקרים, אין כאן קללות, בין ששיללתם אחרים, בין שאחרים קיללו אתכם, בין שקיללתם את עצמכם, כמו שקיללתם שום קללה, או חרב, או קונאה, או שום גזרה רעה, או חלומות רעים, או פתרונות רעים, בין שחלמתם על אחרים, או אחרים חלמו עליכם, כולם בטלים ומבוטלים כהרס המזבח, כדבר שאין בו ממש. וכשם שהסכימו והתירו לכם בית דין של מעלה, כך הסכימו ויתירו לכם בית דין של מעלה. וכל הקללות וחלומות רעים יתהפכו עליכם ועלינו לטובה ולברכה. כדכתיב, ויהפוך אדוני אלוהיך לך את הקללה לברכה, כי אהבך אדוני אלוהיך. וכתיב, ואתם הדבקים אדוני אלוהיכם חיים כולכם היום, יהיו לרצון לבי ויום לבי לפניך אדוני צור ואוהבי. תודה רבה everybody for participating in that. השם מברך אתכם. We see you בעזרת השם soon next week same time. חנוכה שמח.